because now I actually do have to talk about the game. This is way more important than the Pokemon theme song. Because we have to catch all the action, much like Ash has to catch all the Pokemon, which he doesn't ever do, by the way. He, like, never... There's so many Pokemon he just, like, doesn't ever catch. It's like, gotta catch them all. And Ash is like, nah, I'm not even gonna evolve my Pikachu. Anyway, spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we've got the red Terran player for Team NV. It's Cure. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner. Still teamless, right? Insane. One of the strongest Protoss players of all time. It's classic. Talk about Life's match-fixing scandal. Oh, yeah, so Life decided to throw away being, you know, maybe the best Zerg of all time. For, like, some money because he wanted to, like, gamble or something. I don't know. Potentially fixed some matches. I don't know if we ever got confirmation that he fixed the matches. I think he just was betting on matches. Or I guess maybe he did throw some matches that we know of. I'm not really sure. Money greater than Life. Yeah. I mean, honestly, Life really... At that point in time, a lot of StarCraft wasn't really that interesting, but Life's play always was. And in that way, it felt like he brought a lot of life to the game, really living up to his name. And I think kind of, it's almost like he could have been the savior of StarCraft 2 during that kind of boring period of time, right? Unfortunately, he became the savior of StarCraft 2 in a very different way. In kind of the worst possible way. This is what happens when Ruffy shows up. Like, we're all doing good. I don't think I made a single pun in this broadcast yet. Third match shows up, and now we're just going. I don't even know what's going on in the game anymore. This Twilight Council. Reaper's gonna scout it. Good job, Killer. Honestly, sick scout. Those probes tried to stop it, but they did not. And a probe dies for this knowledge. What is happening? There's a probe going across the map with this stalker. Why? Pourquoi? Oh my god, he's not watching. Oh, this probe is just going over here. It's just gonna die? It lives. It lives, but the Reaper has 2 kills on the other side of the map. Brutal. Oh, there's a Dark Shrine. I saw that Dark Shrine about to go down. There it is. See, look what happens when Fear Dragon comes into chat. Classic loses 3 probes and is like, God damn it, I hate this game. Throws down a Dark Shrine. It's beautiful. You just, you know, like, Artosis has a curse, but really, Fear Dragon in chat is a blessing. Hellion out checking around the map, seeing if there's anything out here. Misses the proxy pylon, though. This is going to be a proxy gate from Classic. Oh, no, it's a proxy robo. What? Why is he proxying the robo? We are like 4 minutes into this game. Now he has to recall the stalkers that were out on the map because the Hellion dives in, gets 2 kills, and gets away. Oh, my God. And now it's going to head straight for this proxy? No, okay, it stops. That would be the worst luck in the world for Classic.
SCV ready.
There's Medevac going out with 2 Widow Mines in it, but I mean, the Dark Shrine is about to finish. DT is warping in across the map. There are 2 stalkers at home. Is it just 2 gates? It's just 2 gates. There's no warp-ins available, though. This Medevac's going to pop in here. Oh my god, there's a Raven on the way for Cure. This is like... Classic right now is just Mr. Magooing his way down the stairs or something. DT is going to get scanned and killed. Doesn't even get in the base. Widow Mines in the meantime don't seem to have gotten much probe damage. I think they might have just gotten like 1 probe. So good pulls from Classic. This DT is going to be able to sneak in and get 1 kill. 1 SCV kill, 1 Marine kill. Maybe he got 2 SCV kills. And now there's a Prism in the main, but there is a Raven. So this 1DT, oh my god, he gets surrounded by the SCVs. Does get a few kills, gets 3. Oh, he's gonna pick it up. Oh, Classic. All right, Classic's good. He's good at the video game. We are proud of Classic. With the patch, why would you not build a Raven? That's a great question. Why wouldn't you build a Raven? I don't know, but Cure decided to go for it. There's a lot of reasons not to build a Raven. Classic is in a terrible spot. Just to like be clear of where we're at right now, the worker count looks pretty decent for him. Got a 3rd base on the way. That all sounds just happy crappy. Cure is on 39 army supply to 12. He completely hard countered Classic's build. Classic's desperately going for charge now in hopes that like a charge lot Archon follow-up will save him if Cure moves across the map, and maybe it will. Cure does not have a 3rd CC on in production right now. He is getting into stim. No combat shields or anything though. Oh, there it is. Combat shields and +1. This is going to be a little while before his units are already juiced up, ready to go. But he's also going to have a lot of them. Now, Charged Archon is pretty good. Oh, I don't know if I like the +1, though. The +1 on the Forge here. I feel like +1 armor kind of works better. Well, I guess not with Archons. It's a little hard to say. A little hard to say. Classic's going to go for an Archon drop. Oh, no. The Raven shuts down the Prism, though. These Archons, I think he's just got to recall them. But will they actually get out of here? He's going to go for the far corner recall. He's going to lose one. Ooh, gets the second one out of there. Barely. 19 shields left. Cure going for an 8 Marine drop, but it looks like he's also pushing out at the same time, starting that 3rd CC up back at home. But he's going to head across the map. Observer's going to spot this. Oh no, Immortal caught in the middle of the map. He's going to target down the Marauder at the very least, but we've got a drop in the back. Artosis! Oh no, dude. Artosis is just causing Classic to lose this game right now. I mentioned the Artosis curse earlier, and I mean, here it is coming to fruition. This is just brutal. It all goes back to Artosis really hyping Classic up during Katowice, and it's still causing him issues. Meantime, Cure pushing on the front with 40 more army supply than what Classic has. There's a Raven, so DTs aren't going to save him. Anti-armor missile versus super shield battery. I mean, those are some great force fields. I just don't think they're going to be enough. The tanks are out DPSing that super shield battery. Down it goes. Classic desperately trying to hold on. This medevac's going to come up and help, but I don't even think it's going to get there in time. Down goes the army. Down goes Classic. Cure takes what I would call a dominating game number 1 off of Classic. That was a domination, unfortunately, for our Protoss player. I hope game 2 is a little bit closer. Artosis. I hope we can get Artosis casting this one of these days. I know he's been doing the ESL Open Cups, so he's definitely open to casting occasionally. And he's actually live right now. I think he's doing like a sponsored what's it called? Raid Shadow Legends stream, because he's a real streamer. But maybe we can get him in one of these coming weeks. Love to have him casting some KSL. I'm sure he misses all of his, Korean players that he hasn't gotten to cast in a while, except that they play in every NA Open Cup. So he has gotten to cast them, but maybe he misses Maru. Anyways, spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Red Terran player. For Team NV, currently up 1-0. It's Cure. Looking kind of like a monster today, honestly. Very solid matches from Cure so far. Opponent in the lower left-hand corner. Those DTs did not work out for him as well as they did against Rogue in the 2019 BlizzCon quarterfinals. It is Classic. I mean, listen, I'm not saying you should, but if anybody wants to go into Artosis' chat and donate $3 to get Brian to say, hey, you should cast the KSL Maru is playing, you know, I mean, listen, you could do it. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you could. It's like a possibility. Alright, early probe scout here. Just kind of seeing what's going on. Everything looks pretty normal. Cybercore, Nexus. Classic walling off against the Reaper, because that Reaper last game, man, got some damage done. That was that 2-kill Reaper. And Classic sent a Stalker across the map, and it just did absolutely nothing. So, a bit unfortunate there for Classic in Game 1. Hoping Game 2 goes a little bit better. He's getting the Adept out. It looks like it's going to stay at home. I think that's a smart choice. Looks like pretty much the exact same build here for Cure, at least to start off with, but last game was a pretty standard build, I feel like. Pretty safe against whatever Classic decides to throw at him. That being said, if Classic decides to go for a macro play, that build from Cure was solid, but it was a very late third CC. It's definitely pressure based, and Classic gave him a huge opening to just go kill him, so worked out well for Cure, but if Classic doesn't give him that opening, it could be bit harder with that kind of a build. Oh, this is nice for Classic, though. Big downfall of the bunker defense in the opening here is that the Adept can just stop mining from happening for a while and be incredibly annoying. Reaper on the other side, not getting anything done, getting chased away by more Adepts, and I actually don't think Cure has spotted this Stargate opener. No, he is not. So last game he scouted that Twilight Council immediately, and that really helped him be prepared for the DTs, right? He knew that was a possibility. He saw the Twilight Council. Makes a lot of sense. Finally, it seems Cure is going to be able to actually get into the base. He's going to spot the Phoenix, which tries to save the probe, but it's not quite able to. Cancels the lift. Should be able to get the kill on this Reaper. Down it goes. Nicely done. Cure now knows it's Phoenixes, though. The Oracle would have hit by now. But it is just going to be straight into Phoenixes. I actually love Phoenix openings against Terran, and we see them so seldomly. If it is Stargate, usually it's just 1 or 2 Oracles. If there are Phoenix, it's after the Oracles. They're a little bit later into the game. But these super early Phoenixes, they pretty much stop any harassment from being possible. They're faster than anything Terran has. So even trying to like boost in with Medivacs becomes super dangerous. You're pretty much guaranteed to lose everything. Once you have enough Phoenixes out, you can just lift up Widow Mines as they drop out and take 0 damage from Widow Mine drops or Hellions. Banshees is, if you have detection, no problem. Classic does have that. So it forces Cure to kind of just chill back at home, and he's got to get some anti-air out, some of this early anti-air. He's going for the Viking Cyclone combo. This Raven is pretty vulnerable once the Phoenix count gets a little bit higher. It looks like Classic might be done with Phoenixes for the time being, though, as he's trying to tech into the Colossi, which is the fairly normal follow-up. That third base on the way. Yeah, I love Phoenixes against Terran. I think they can be really good. There are a few things, though, that they really don't deal with very well, which is a lot of Stim Marines. They don't deal well with lots of units. Cure going for the reactor on the factory. It's going to be Widow Mines? Widow Mines are actually kind of dangerous against Phoenixes. The Phoenixes can be used to drag Widow Mines over top of the Marines, We've seen some bad hits, man. We've seen some Widowmine drags that just killed like 15 Marines. It's brutal. And Widowmine's unfortunately not very good against the Colossi. I wonder if Cure is expecting charge lots. So like the old school way to go Phoenixes against Terran was you went Phoenix Colossus, right? You get your Phoenixes out, defend the early game, get into your Colossi, and that defends you against any bio attacks. But then it kind of switched into like Phoenix charge lot, and I love that. But it feels almost like Cure's expecting that. He is building double Marauder, but the Widowmines feel like a pure response to charge lots when it is going to be Colossi. So Cure definitely needs to be prepared for that. He does have this Raven, which will have 2 shutdowns on it. And that's very, very dicey for Classic. He needs to be very careful about that. In fact, it might be worth just trying to target down the Raven and get the kill right away with the Phoenixes and with the Stalkers. Because if those Colossi get shut down, Classic is big dead. There's no other like upgrades going on. Charge is on the way now. +1 is on the way. But Classic won't have much if 2 of these Colossi get shut down. Knows where the army is, though. Going to try to take this 4th base, but needs to be a little bit careful. But it looks like Classic is holding on. I mean, Cure's not even engaging right now. And if Classic's able to take this 4th base, Cure might be in some trouble. His 3rd is halfway done, but it's not on location. And this is kind of what I was talking about, right? Cure last game with this push. It was a slightly different push, but similar style. He was able to just kill Classic. But now that Classic has just been macroing, he's got a sizable army. It's going to make it a lot harder for Cure to find damage with this. And if he doesn't find damage with this, he's just insanely far behind. Classic is only 10 workers ahead right now, but that 4th base is it's on its way, and this 3rd still not on location. Cure's going to lift it and land it immediately. He does have a Ghost Academy behind this. He's going to have to stim and run away for now. Phoenix going for a lift up. Nice anti-armor missile, but those force fields are beautiful, and the Colossi just absolutely slaughtering everything in front of those force fields. Cure picks up and pulls back. He is up a bit of army supply right now. And that Widowmine gets another hit off. I think it was a different Widowmine, actually. But I think Classic's army currently is just straight up better. The Artosalip might agree here. Not too sure. Can't quite hear it right now. I must have Tastealope and Artosalip sounds turned off. Zealot run by. Doesn't actually get anywhere. Gets found by some army units. Cure is getting into a much stronger army, though. He's got Ghosts coming out. He's got Vikings coming out. It's just he was so late to this 3rd base. Oh, and he's supply blocked right now. Ah! 65 out of 65. That is brutal. The Zealots get delayed a little bit by a Widowmine. They get a couple SCVs, but they do just get shot down. These Widowmines are actually so incredibly annoying. Classic dealing with that one beautifully. It still feels like just such a good game for Classic right now, but while his mining has been better, the supplies are very, very even. Ghost's going to run forward and actually should be able to get a really nice EMP, but no, Cure pulls back. He doesn't get the EMP off. That's actually kind of brutal. That Ghost was in beautiful position to do so. Cure pulling back the rest of his army. He knows he needs to defend. There's a lot of stuff out on the map. Widowmine gets the scout. Decent amount of Vikings here, 6 of them. There's only a few Phoenixes left. They're pretty injured. So the Vikings should be able to take those out fairly quickly. Oh my god, we have 2 fake Colossi in this army. The scan is going to spot that, but will Cure remember which ones are fake? Is he going to notice? He's going to anti-armor missile a bunch of this, but look at the Vikings targeting down the fake Colossi. He gets both of them. Those were the fake ones, though, Cure. You scanned. You knew that. A bit of unfortunate targeting there. Classic decides to pull back. And now we're really starting to see the economy here from Classic kick in as he maintains his fully maxed army. while Cure is still kind of struggling a little bit to get back up to max. He's actually doesn't even have the max supply count. Oh, and he was forced to cancel that 4th base. So his 4th is even later now. As Zealots run back into the 3rd. Cure's trying to push, though. He's going for it. Classic not realizing it. Sends out a Panic Disruptor Nova, but it is just the one. Is there an overcharge available? I feel like there should be, but for some reason, Classic uses it super late. The shield battery, though, it is staying alive. Disruptor Nova not connecting. Is there enough here for Classic? I don't think there is, actually. Cure landing the Vikings as all the Colossi disappear. Classic mishandling this defense. Doesn't have DTs or anything to fall back on. It looks like he is going to lose his whole army trying to warp in. A lot of SCVs have gone down and are still going down, but Cure is up on 77 army supply. He's cleaning up these Zealots as they pop out. He's going to lose. Classic's going to lose his 4th base. Oh, these Zealots are doing so much. They're finally going to get cleaned up after killing 37 SCVs, though. If Classic can somehow kill this army, he will be in a perfectly fine position. There's another Disruptor Nova available. Doesn't get the connection, but it does buy a little bit more time. There's one more warp in available. Is it going to be enough? Disruptors being targeted down here. Widowmine's getting okay connections. EMP's going off, but Classic does push this away. Cure's trying to reinforce with more army, though. He lifts up. He pulls back to the high ground. No, Classic, not like that. That's not the place to go. Classic's got so much more mining, but he just needs to get these units out. He's going to morph a few Archons with all that extra gas he's been banking. Triple Disruptor production. Cure killed the 4th base, but there is a 5th. If Classic is able to push this back, I think he'll be in an excellent position. We don't see any SCVs being made for Cure. He knows it's kind of do or die right now. He needs to win right here. Every unit Classic picks off is a big loss for Cure right now because he just doesn't have the money to keep replenishing this like Classic does. Classic's income is quite a bit higher. And while Cure is getting more resaturated over here, he's got a lot of mules dropping. That's going to help him quite a bit. He just doesn't have that longevity that Classic does. Zealot run by getting found. A couple of snipes going off. Really nice way to catch those. Zealots decide to come back in and fight. Ooh, I don't know about that. I feel like the rest of the army could have been there and then maybe get a little bit of a sandwich. Zealots, at this point, just pulling Cure all over the place. This is so good for Classic. We see he's already overcome that supply deficit he was in. The army supply is still in favor of Cure, but a lot of that is in these medevacs, too. The actual fighting ground army, those are going to be pretty similar. The Zealots do make their way across the map. Really nice Disruptor Nova there. Gets enough units to scare Cure back. Cure will be able to deal with this little Zealot run by. But again, a lot of focus being paid back at home, and Cure's army out on the map has been dwindled down by quite a bit. It looks so imposing on the map, but again, these medevacs, there's like 9 of them. 8 of them. There's 8 of them out here, taking up a lot of that space. Classic finally able to get this base saturated. I don't know if Cure knows it's there. No, he has not realized yet. He might assume there's a 5th base on one of the locations. I think he's been up here somewhat recently. Cure's finally able to take his 4th, but I mean, he's still at 49 SCVs. Really not a great worker count here for the Terran. So he's going to have to keep producing those bad boys. Classic is retaking that 4th base, but his mining is significantly better, and it's going to stay pretty significantly better, I think, overall. We have a bit of a skirmish here. I don't think Cure's whole army is here. Yeah, he's got some more army to the north. Classic's got to be a little bit careful. These Disruptor Novas are so important. One whiffs on the left side. That one connects hugely, though. SCV's being pulled, but there's Archons in the front to buffer. There are so many Disruptors that it feels like Classic can just throw these balls out for days, and that's going to cover his retreat as he kills a huge amount of SCVs and a huge amount of army. The army supplies are basically evened up at this point, but Cure is still down at half the worker count of Classic right now. The base stays alive, but that was an excellent, excellent fight for Classic, and I don't think he lost any of these Disruptors, those are the important units. God, that was a huge Nova hit. Cure's going to hold the top of this ramp, and Classic's like, oh, hey, look at that. The scan goes down, but it's too late at this point. Classic knows Cure is here. He just sends another observer up. Oh, man. Oh, Cure, I hope you're paying attention. Yeah, he is. He is. More Novas going forward. Finally, a Viking goes down. Classic just sending these Novas out, creating this space, getting a couple of pickoffs here and there. We see Classic's lost a little bit more this game. That's why it's still pretty even, though Classic's been mining more this whole time. And it's not mining quite as much more as you'd expect. Again, the Mule's really helping Cure. But the Mules are not they have no longevity. They don't have a long life. So once they're gone, it is brutal for Cure. He's just not going to have any income for a little while. The Nova's really protecting the rest of this army. Classic constantly trying to move around. Widowmine somehow doesn't get a shot off there. Both players posturing in the middle here, but this is... It's so much better for Classic. His fourth base is back up. He's got 3 fully saturated bases mining right now. And I don't know what Cure is hoping for here. He wants to try to jump on this army, but the disruptor count is insane. There are 13 disruptors on the map right now. Widowmine got a great shot off, but man, Classic just needs one more good disruptor hit and this game is completely over. How do you even get on top of this? Cure needs like liberators or something. It's wild. Classic's just trying to outmaneuver Cure, and I think he successfully has done that right now. Cure is pulling the rest of his army back over. Classic not going to dive in. That would have been a dangerous move for sure. Try to dive in. He spots this army, though. He's going to start an engagement. There's a lot of bio up here, though. And now he's on the low ground. He's caught a little bit. Cure trying to take the best engagement he can, but you just can't split against this many Disruptor Novas. Classic can just send them out one at a time. Keep those disruptors safe, keep warping in stalkers and zealots, and slowly but surely, these gateway units will whittle away at the bio. The disruptor novas will get 1 or 2 hits at a time, and GG gets called. Classic holds on in that game and ties the series up. That was so close to Cure just winning. Insanely close. A few disruptors pop out, a few gateway units are able to warp in. Classic buys a little bit of time, and that Zealot run by ended up doing enough damage to take us to a game 3. Killed like 37 SCVs. That was kind of disgusting. Cure was like, I don't care. I'm just going to win. And he didn't win. Didn't win. GG. Is it strange that there have been 0 tanks on the board? So Cure went for a specific kind of push that didn't involve tanks. I think he didn't involve tanks because there were Phoenixes out. And he probably, I think he just didn't want the tanks to get lifted. The tanks are in that kind of 2-base push. The like 2 or 3 tanks are so important that if the Phoenix just lift them, suddenly your army feels so much weaker. So instead of going for tanks, he went for a heavier bio presence, which Phoenixes are not nearly as strong against. And then he was so committed with that attack and the follow-ups, there's no time to like change your tech choices at that point. Even if technically, they'd be better, you can't be like repositioning factories and stuff. He just needed more bio, and he was kind of caught in a bad place where he couldn't tech up because he didn't have the economy for it. In any case, game number 3 here on Babylon. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner, we have the Red Terran player for Team NV.
Oh man, Chickenman.
It's Cure.
Wow.
Ragnarok, thank you for the 25-month resub. Evo arrive, then save esports, then leave. You know, that's what we're doing here. You're just arriving, saving esports, and leaving. That's kind of the MO. So thank you for helping to save esports. And 47S, you have a lovely night, my friend. Anyways, spawning in the upper left-hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss. Currently not on a team. So if you have a StarCraft team and you're out there looking for a member, and it's hot, this is your guy. It's Classic. Oh, is this a double gateway opener from Classic? Oh, spicy. Okay, Classic is opening up like this is a PvP. I don't think Cure has SCV scouted any of these games, so he's not gonna have any idea that there's anything weird going on until the Reaper's out. And I mean, that's gonna be a while. Oh my God, it's a reactor first from Cure. This actually could be terrible for Cure. So double Adept's going to be coming across for Classic. Cure's going for Marines, which, if he builds a bunker, the Adepts can bypass it like we saw, and probably get a little bit of damage done, but probably not much. But if he doesn't build a bunker, and he might not, because you know what? This kind of double Marine production holds most early pressure. Like a Stalker coming up the ramp, really not going to do much. What it won't hold is double Adept production coming across this fast. Cure's going to be caught completely off guard by this with no bunker. I mean, this is like pants down. You are ready to go to the bathroom, and Classic says, "Hey, bud, let me just come say hi." One Adept does get extremely low, and in fact, the SCV gets the kill. Oh my God, this SCV is a badass. And you know what? Losing that one Adept is pretty brutal. There's two more coming across, and that will still allow for one-shotting Marines and SCVs. No problem here for these Adepts. But Cure got the CC finished. It's turning into an orbital. The Adepts are not going to do any meaningful damage to this. Going up the ramp is going to be a little bit tough for Classic. Adepts don't have like a ton of range for their shots. This is kind of cute though. I don't think he's going to finish that shade. I think that would be suicide. Instead, trying to get a little more damage down here. Now, it looks like Cure's just going to hold on. All right, so it is a slight delay on the mining from the low ground, but overall, I think Cure should be quite happy with this. Now, two Stalkers are showing up as well, but there's a Marauder here. And I feel like the one Marauder with this many Marines puts a real damper on Classic's plans. Oh my God, Concussive Shell is done! Oh, that is brutal. I did not even realize that was in the production tab. Beautiful play from Cure. The Adepts are going to finish the shade now in hopes of pulling this army back, in hopes of maybe getting some SCV damage. They will get a few, but that's 3 Adepts. That's a lot of Classic's army. Classic realizing this is a 3 racks. Stim is on the way, Combat Shield's on the way, and Cure's going to start pushing across. Classic needs units out now. I love this, though. This is great. Shield battery on top of the ramp, couple of sentries. He's got the Immortal on the way. Cure can't get any damage done up this ramp. He should be able to just force field half the army. And Classic's paying attention. Force fields half the army. Shield battery gets targeted. It is not going to go down. Excellent hold from Classic. The big thing here is that Cure can stop a 3rd base from going down for a little bit longer. Classic certainly wants that to be on the way right now. And he knows that, so he's going to start pushing down the ramp. Send the probe out. Cure does have a bit of an opportunity here, though, perhaps. He's got that Concussive Shell. Stim is almost done. And, in fact, if he just, like, jumped on this base right now, he could force a cancel, but he would lose all of these units. It's a bit of a dangerous game to play. And Classic's got this Colossus about to pop out. It's going to make it a lot harder for Cure with no Medivacs to get any damage done. He's sending his units out across the map. It looks like Cure wants to put the pressure on. I feel like Classic's got enough to hold this if he's in position. Now with Stim done, this many Marines might be able to force a cancel on this base before Classic can come over and save it. Classic does not realize this is here. There's no shield battery or anything. Cure, though, goes for the guaranteed damage of the pylon. Targets down the base for a little bit. Ooh, gonna try to jump on top of this. Colossus getting targeted down, but there are not enough units here for Cure to get this Colossus. And all of them go down trying to target it down. It takes some damage, but Classic holds on. He keeps the base alive. He kills a ton of units and loses very little, honestly. I think he lost 1 Adept and 1 Sentry there. That is That was a crazy good trade. A resources lost was, I think, in favor of Cure before. Now it is heavily in favor of Classic. Cure's got this third base finishing up right around the same time as Classic's, though, so that's nice for him. He just needs to get some units out. This tank is going to be crucial. He's got +1 in combat shields finishing up now, so his army is a good bit stronger than it was a minute ago. But there are 2 Colossi here for Classic. They both have Thermal Lance. This is going to be tough for Cure to hold, I think. The tank is not out yet. The tank might need to go up on the high ground, actually. Classic just diving right in on this third base. Drops the force field to trap a Marauder. Yeah, tank decides to go up onto the natural base here. Stalker's trying to target down the CC. They want to get it. They want to get it. The SCVs are coming for repair. I think they will be able to get there, but oh, it's so close. SCVs get on the repair. Ooh, they repaired it. They repaired it. The tank, in the meantime, has been shelling away this army. 3 kills. Cure saves the CC, which is probably the most important thing here. Again, this tank just doing so much damage. I wish there was a damage counter for how much damage each unit did. It's only got 3 kills, but I feel like it did a few hundred of shield damage as well. Oh, Classic just going right back into tank range. Observer gets spotted and killed. 2 MBZ. Oh my god. 33 months of resubscribing. Imagine being subscribed to this channel for 33 months. That'd be, honestly, one of the most baller things you could do. Thank you for the resub. Welcome back, my friend. It's good to see you. It's nice to be streaming more regularly again. Like, twice a week isn't a lot, but twice a week, like, guaranteed banger games between this and the ESL Open Cup has been really, really sick. It's been really nice. And honestly, I've been getting some really good views on my YouTube channel, too. Shout out to people who watch StarCraft on YouTube. Pretty dope. I might actually get some personal streams in the relatively near future, and I've been thinking about trying to put on another Cheeky Chicken Open, which I only ever did one of, but might be time for a second one. I've got a couple of open days coming up. As open as Classic's main currently is. And Cure's going to dive in and drop 3 medevacs worth of units. Does Classic have a recall available? Not in the main. Looks like he just recalled to the natural. He's got a few Colossi here. Not a lot of Stalker presence, though, so the medevac should be able to pick up and get out. 11 probes going down. Cure picks up and gets out of there. Really, really nice move here from Cure. Forces the recall, gets a bunch of workers, trades with some units, and gets out of there. It's going to allow him to keep his third nice and safe. And I think Cure's got to be really happy with that move. Now, he is going to run into some units out here on the map, actually. Loses a medevac, loses a few more units. Dives back into the main base, but there are units here. So now he's going to go hang out in the corner. I don't think there's a Stargate, so Phoenixes aren't going to be a thing. So Classic needs to be well aware of these medevacs for the next little while. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about playing StarCraft on stream. Can you guys imagine playing StarCraft? It'd be wild. I don't know what that's like anymore. I don't remember how. How do you play this game? I think I'm pretty much as good as like Classic, right? Yeah, I'm pretty much as good as this guy. I think I can do it. I could probably beat Cure here, honestly. Cure's army is so anti-Colossi, it's insane. He's got 8 Vikings and 5 siege tanks, 12 Marauders. The like 2-to-1 Marine to Marauder ratio is so sick against the Colossi. Classic definitely needs to get some other DPS out here. He does have some High Templar around, I think. The Ghost, of course, in EMP those. I don't know where the High Templar are. Maybe he doesn't. I thought he had some storms going on, but he doesn't. Goes for the 4 fake Colossi, because you know what? It worked last game. Why not this game? 4 fake Colossi. I love that move. Honestly, such a sick move. And it's like a memory game for Cure. He needs to remember which one of these are fake. Oh my god. Classic taking an insanely good fight with those Colossi shooting into the choke. He decides to pull back, though. The EMPs are huge, and you know what? Cure Siege Tanks were doing kind of the same thing that Colossi were doing, and just chewing off pieces of that army. Colossi doing really nicely, though. Big Zealot run by heading towards the third base. There isn't anything here, just a few depots to try to defend this. Could get some big damage done as Cure pushes up towards the fifth. Don't think Classic wants to try to hold on to this fifth base. And a real problem here as these tanks are just doing so much damage. Somebody mentioned the lack of tanks last game being bad for Cure, and we're seeing how strong those tanks are against this army composition of Classic right now. There's disruptors coming out, but they are not here yet. They are feeling very late to the party as more Colossi go down, more ground units go down. Classic is just eating huge damage. Zealots on the other side of the map getting a lot of damage done, though. Cure, again, having a little bit of trouble dealing with this, but this time he's pulling the SCVs, he's pulling the units, reinforcement units, and he will push them away, only taking 6 SCVs of damage. Significantly better than last game. Classic, in the meantime, is hella supply blocked. 175 out of 157 there for a second. Shelling away at the Robo are these siege tanks, as Cure has found one of the most annoying positions to be in on this map with siege tanks, and there are quite a few. Classic gonna get Zealots into the main, though. This game is definitely not over. It's gonna be very difficult for Classic to clear this, but he is getting damage on the other side of the map, though. Oh man, it looks like Cure is just holding beautifully. He's just not mining very much, though, so maybe Classic can get something done. He's got the full surround ready to go. Oh my god, he's gonna drop in with Zealots? Oh, I think that was it. I think it was a complete accident for that Prism to be there. Cure's starting to drop into the main base right now. If he drops too many units in the main base, though, I think Classic can jump in on this. That Prism, I don't know where it went. It's down over here. Classic's just gonna pull the trigger. He's gonna go for it. Targets down the Liberator. The Vikings gonna kill the Colossi before they really get anything done. However, going to be able to clear this. Cure's going to be forced to lift up and get out of here. This is another medevac on the way out. I think Cure is still in an okay spot, but you know what? He has not been mining from this for very long. He does not have a fourth base ready to go. He's down a bunch of workers. Classics had this base the whole time. This one just finished, but it looks like Cure might just be able to stomp it. Ooh, no, Classic's pretty close. Cure instead forced to trade with the army. He is going to pick up and go back into the main base as well, though. There's just nothing here. Classic leaving one Zealot to help defend the main. There's 3 medevacs about to go in there. We actually might hit a bit of a base trade right now, as that drop hits into the main once again. But no, Cure able to hold on at the third with a very strong defense. Okay, a couple Colossi in the main are going to help out quite a bit. There's no shield battery here, though. If Cure micros a little bit, I think he'll be able to kill these Colossi. He's going to go for the +3. He gets the deny. Decides not to drop on those Colossi as the Stalkers all warp in. A smart move. Gets a few probes, though. That's going to even up the worker count quite a bit. Classic able to keep this fourth base alive, though. Still mining quite nicely. And look at that army supply. Classic's army is actually huge. 127 army supply to 89. Cure finally taking this fourth is going to be crucial, but I'm a little worried for him. Classic's army is massive, and he's warping into the main base. The Prism is going to get taken down by the Vikings. This is a lot of Zealots, though. It's pulling Cure's army into the main, but at the same time, Cure drops back in the main. Classic maybe wishing he dropped down a Stargate for like 1 Phoenix to stop these drops from ever happening, or just like ring your base with cannons, you know? That's the Diamond League strat for you. Feedbacks go down, but they do not do the damage they used to do. Cure gets out of there with 2 medevacs. Still a very scary drop that could potentially come in at any point, and already has done a lot of damage. Cure might just go home with it now, because it's still a threat, even if he goes home with it. That drop has done so much to keep Cure in a good spot in this game, because now Classic has pulled back a bunch of times. Cure's got a really nice defensive setup with these tanks, with all these depots. He's got these Vikings still out. He's going to lift up and go for another drop on the bottom side. This base is completely undefended. Classic tries to push forward a little bit, but this is a planetary with a siege tank and the bio nearby. How many zealots are in this counterattack right now? This is insane. Gonna try to hit the third base. I mean, honestly, there's enough zealots where they can just run right in. They do not need to care at all, and that's exactly what these zealots are planning on doing. They're just gonna move through, get onto the SCVs, get onto the siege tanks. Friendly fire is gonna be a hell of a drug here. The bio is gonna come down, but a lot of SCVs are gonna go down. Classic tries to push forward, but looks like he's not getting too much done. Oh no, the SCVs! Oh man, the friendly fire. 17 workers dying for Cure. That is brutal for his economy. However, he doesn't get anywhere near comparable damage back on the other side of the map because Classic cleans it up. 5 probes going down. Honestly, beautifully done by Classic. And I still like Classic's position a little bit better. Somehow he's not got a lot of workers out, though. He's building 4 at a time now. His 5th base is done. He kind of wants to be at like 75. But he is way down from that. It makes those SCV kills seem not quite as good. Almost necessary for Classic to get. Oh, the bio, though, kind of outmaneuvering Classic here. He scans, he sees. Classic realizes where that bio is. Sends a Disruptor over to the high ground, but now he's completely surrounded. This army in such a bad spot. He goes for the recall, but he's going to lose both Colossi, almost all of the Disruptors. Oh, there's a big counterattack here, though, from Classic. He's going to get on top of the third, kills a bunch of workers. Can he kill the CC? It's +2 attack, not quite enough to kill the command center. It will start burning, gonna have to be repaired. There's DTs out, though, now. It's a Dark Shrine. That's going to be really, really important for Cure to know. He does have some detection with the turrets, but we could see a cheeky DT sneak back into this base. Cure has left it quite undefended a couple of times now. Classic tries to go back in, but now's not the time. Cure's got the army there. Cure's also moving up to try to put pressure on this position once again. Classic's probes that are trying to long distance mine might end up just straight up dying here. I don't think Classic has enough to fight this right now. He's going to be forced to cancel and lose all those probes. Cure's got to be happy about that, but maybe not super happy. I don't know what was going on over here. Maybe it was a DT. There's a scan happening. Cure just trying to keep the pressure on. Classic needs to get a flank to deal with these tanks. 18 probes have gone down. Oh no! Classic accidentally pulling the army back with the Disruptor Nova. A big mistake, something that we see every now and then, even from the highest level Protoss players. But the army is back here. We've got a potential sandwich, but we've got another potential sandwich for the potential sandwich. Everybody's sandwiching over here. And I don't know who is going to take the better fight. Classic pulls the trigger first. Cure needs to get the rest of that army up here before he just loses everything. Oh, but I think Cure might have too much. Classic was so far ahead for a little bit, but now Cure just has way too much army supply. GG gets called. And the Terran player moves on with the 2-1 victory, but what a close series. That was not an easy victory for Cure at all.